Hello and welcome to Drishti IAS English. I am Aisha, and in today's episode we will be talking about the World Elephant Day 2024. So as we have already covered the International Tiger Day, and then it is about the World Elephant Day. So first of all, about the points of discussion, we will be discussing about the difference between Asian elephants and African elephants, about elephants, Indian elephant status, what are the government initiatives that has been taken for its conservation, human elephant conflict, as the human elephant conflict is on a rise, UPSC PYQs, and in the end practice question. Topic is of relevance from general studies paper 1 and paper 3. Paper 1, that is geography, that is types of species and other part. Then paper 3 is conservation. So let's begin. So the World Elephant Day is observed globally on 12th of August. So the World Elephant Day is celebrated on 12th of August, and it is basically about raising awareness with regard to the conservation of this flagship species. So elephant is a species, so it denotes a region, it denotes a space, and it is a flagship species, it is a keystone species, and it is an umbrella species also. Then 12th August 2012, it was when the inaugural World Elephant Day was launched. So the World Elephant Day was launched in the year 2012, and the reason was to draw attention to the urgent plight of Asian and African elephant, as during this time the number of elephants was going down, and to raise awareness about the status of elephants, or the World Elephant Day was introduced, and this day serves as a platform to highlight the challenges which elephants encounter all over the world, like for example the habitat loss, as the elephants are big species, they are huge species, so they need that space also, so their habitat has to be huge in size, there has to be proper elephant corridors so that they can move in their herds, and that require a lot of space. And as of now, what is happening, and the biggest challenge that the elephants are facing, is the habitat loss, which is taking place because of the industrialization and the urbanization which is taking place. So habitat loss, and then poaching for ivory. So ivory poaching is very, very famous, and that is one of the reasons that why the elephants are killed. Then human elephant conflict are on a rise, and in India if we talk about, then in the state of Karnataka and Kerala we hear a lot about the elephant human conflict. And then for better conservation efforts are needed for elephants. Now let us talk about the African elephant and the Asian elephants. As elephant if we talk about, then there are basically two major species, that is the African elephants and the Asian elephants. So let us look at the difference. So this side is the African elephant and this side is the Asian elephant, and we will be talking about in few dimensions, like for example, first dimension is ear. So the African elephants have larger size with fan shaped ears. So the African elephants have a very, very big ear, and the shape of the ear is usually fan shaped, while on the other side the Asian elephants are smaller in size and they have a round shaped ear and comparatively smaller in size. Now let's talk about the head shape. So the African elephant has a rounded head, while the Asian elephant has the twin domed head. Twin domed head means there are two domes which you will be able to see on the head. Then come tusk. So the African elephant has bigger tusk and they are present in both male and female. So the tusk is bigger and present in both male and female, while in Asian elephants the tusks are smaller in size as compared to the African elephant, and they are present only on the male. So the tusks are not present on the female, they are present only on the male. Now let's talk about the trunk. So the African elephants have visible and heavily ringed trunk. It is very big in size and it is heavily ringed. It means the lines you can see on the trunk, while on the other side the Asian elephants have only a single finger at the end of its trunk, and it is basically smaller in size as compared to the African elephant. Then comes skin texture. Then the African elephant have wrinkled skin, while the Asian elephant have comparatively smoother skin. Then distribution. So the African elephant is distributed in the rainforest of West and Central Africa, then savanna and deserts of Africa also, while on the other hand the Asian elephant is present in forested areas across southern Asia. And if we talk about the lifespan, so the African elephant can live up to 70 years, while on the other hand the Asian elephant has a lifespan of around 48 to 50 years. So the lifespan is bigger of the African elephants as compared to the Asian elephants. Then if we talk about the African elephant, there are two subspecies of the African elephant, that is the savanna elephant and the forest elephant. While on the other hand, if we talk about the Asian elephant, then there are three subspecies of Asian elephant, that is Indian, Sumatran and Sri Lankan elephant. Now comes one of the most important part, and that is the conservation status. So the African elephant IUCN status, that is African savanna and African forest. African savanna IUCN status is endangered, while African forest elephant IUCN status is critically endangered. So African forest elephant is critically endangered. Now let's come to the Asian elephant. IUCN status is endangered and World Elephant Day is celebrated on 12th of August. So these are few of the pictures. See, this is African elephant, this is African bush elephant, while this is forest elephant. So forest elephant, you will see it is more bigger in size. Then Asian elephants, this is Indian elephant, pygmy elephant, Sri Lankan elephant, and this is Sumatran elephant. So they have few different characteristics as compared to each other, but basically all these are Asian and these two are African. Then comes about the elephant. As I have said that elephant is a keystone species. It is a keystone species, it is a flagship species, and then it is an umbrella species. Now keystone species and flagship species is because they denote a region, they belong to a region, they are icon of that region, and it is their presence is very important for that region to run the ecosystem the way it needs to be run, and also for the proper functioning of the food chain and the food web. While on the other hand, it is also an umbrella species, as their conservation will result in the conservation of other species also, or their conservation will help in the conservation of other flora and fauna also. So they are flagship species, keystone species and umbrella species. Then because of the cultural and religious importance and aesthetical appeal, elephants also serve as flagship species in the biodiversity conservation. Now, due to their central role in shaping and maintaining the forest environment, elephants are often referred to as ecosystem engineers. Now, they are also referred to as ecosystem engineers because their presence functions in the way that other things also functions around them. So, they are considered to be engineers because they are running a small ecosystem in itself. Then, it is only remarkable that a single species acts as keystone, flagship and umbrella species of biodiversity conservation and justify India's decision to declare elephants as national heritage animal. Now, elephants in India are national heritage animal. It means that they signify India's heritage and culture. Then, if we talk about within Asia, elephants occur in 13 countries. So, in Asia, elephants are present in 13 countries. India holds more than 60% wild elephant population of the globe. So, of the globe, India has majority of the population, that is 60% of the population belongs to India. Then Asian elephants are distributed majorly in southern and northeastern India, east central and northern regions. We will be talking about that in which state maximum number of elephants are present. Now let us talk about the Asian elephants in particular. So they are matriarchal. Matriarchal means that they live in female-led groups. So Asian elephants are matriarchal and Asian elephants are led by a female. Then the gestation period is 18 to 22 months. Gestation period means that the time period for which the mother holds the baby elephant in her womb. So that is 18 to 22 months, and the calf is nursed for around 2 to 4 years. And if we talk about the conservation status of Asian elephant, then IUCN status is endangered, as we have just discussed. CITES status becomes Appendix 1, and WPA, which is the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, it comes under Schedule 1. It means that it needs utmost attention, and the conservation steps which are taken for the protection of the elephants has to be of utmost priority. Then India is home to 60% of the Asian elephant population. Now if we talk about state-wise population of elephants in India, then the highest population of elephants in India belongs to Karnataka. That is around 25% of the elephants are present in Karnataka. Second position is there in Assam, third is Kerala, fourth Tamil Nadu, fifth Odisha and sixth is Uttarakhand. So maximum is Karnataka, first, second is Assam and third is Kerala. Then now let us talk about the government initiatives which has been taken for the conservation of this flagship species, that is elephant. So first is addressing the human elephant conflict, because this is one of the points and one of the reasons which is on a rise in throughout India or pan India. So the establishment for over 40 elephants corridors and 88 wildlife crossings to reduce conflicts. So 40 elephant corridors have been established and 88 wildlife crossings have been established, because elephants are huge animals, they are huge species, they are big species, so they require certain ground for their movement, and if they will not get that ground for their movement or that path for their movement, then they will not be able to move in a herd, and that is where the problem starts. So elephant corridors becomes very, very important for their proper movement. Then creation of buffer zones around protected areas covering more than 17,000 square kilometers. So buffer zones also becomes important so that the difference between the human and the animal or the species stays. Now let us talk about the Project Elephant. So the Project Elephant was launched in the year 1992, covering 23 states across India, and it improved the status of the wild elephants with a population increase from about 25,000 in 1992 to around 30,000 in 2021. So the increase in the number of elephants has taken place. Then the Project Tiger division has been merged with the Project Elephant, and that is why you will see that the Project Elephants or the elephant reserves and the tiger reserves, they overlap each other. So the Project Tiger division has been merged with the Project Elephant division, and a new division with the name Project Tiger and Elephant division has been created, and this is under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Now let us talk about the elephant reserves all over India. So as of now there are 33 elephant reserves in India, and if we talk about, then the highest number of reserves are present in the states of Tamil Nadu and Assam. So in the states of Tamil Nadu and Assam, let us see. So in Uttarakhand it is present Shivalik Elephant Reserves. Then we talk about Uttar Pradesh Terai Elephant Reserve and Uttar Pradesh Elephant Reserve. Then if we talk about Karnataka, then in Karnataka there is Dandeli Elephant Reserve, Mysore Elephant Reserve. Now let us talk about Kerala. Then there is Wayanad Elephant Reserve, Nilambur Elephant Reserve, Anamudi Elephant Reserve, and then Periyar. Now let us come to Tamil Nadu. So in Tamil Nadu, Agastyamalai, Srivilluputhur, Coimbatore, Anaimulai, Nilgiri. Then comes to Andhra Pradesh, and Andhra Pradesh is Rayala Elephant Reserve. Now coming to Odisha, that is Mahanadi Elephant Reserve and Sambalpur Elephant Reserve, Mayurbhanj Elephant Reserve. Now coming to Jharkhand, Jharkhand has Singhbhum Elephant Reserve. Then comes West Bengal, there is Mayur Jharna Elephant Reserve. Then there is Eastern Dors Elephant Reserve. Now coming to Arunachal Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh has Kameng Elephant Reserve. Now coming to Assam, Assam holds Chirang Ripu Elephant Reserve. Then there is Kaziranga Karbi Anglong Elephant Reserve. Then there is Dhansari Lungding Elephant Reserves. Then coming on to Meghalaya, Meghalaya has Garo Hills Elephant Reserve. Now there is Arunachal Pradesh, which was Kameng Elephant Reserve, and also the South Arunachal Elephant Reserve. Now coming to Nagaland, Nagaland has Singhbhum Elephant Reserve and also Intanki Elephant Reserve. So in total there are 33 elephant reserves, and I took the name of elephant reserves belonging to each elephant reserves belonging to the state, because many a time the name can be asked, and it can be asked that this place or this elephant reserves is present in which state, and that is the reason I took the name of every elephant reserve. So critical elephant habitats are notified as elephant reserves for focus and synergy in elephant conservation and to reduce the conflict between the elephant and the population. 33 elephant reserves have been established in 14 major elephant states. Then these elephant reserves, as we have just discussed, they overlap with the tiger reserves, wildlife sanctuaries and the reserved forest, which are protected under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, Indian Forest Act 1927 and other local state acts. Now let us talk about another point, and that is the community participation and empowerment. Like for example, Gaj Yatra program and Gaj Shilpi initiative. So Gaj Yatra program and Gaj Shilpi initiatives involving people to raise awareness about elephant conservation has been launched. Now recognition of exemplary efforts. So the conferment of Gaj Gaurav awards given to individuals and organizations for their contribution in the field of elephant conservation and management. So awards is being given to people. Now international agreements and protocols. So participation in international conferences like CITES or COP. COP stands for the Conference of Parties. Then monitoring of illegal killing of elephant, that is the MIKE program, and MIKE program has been asked in the examination. So this program was established by CITES by resolution 10.10 adopted at the 10th COP in 1997. So this monitors the illegal killing of the elephants. Then let us know about the MIKE sites in India. So the MIKE sites which are present in India, that is the Chirang Ripu Elephant Reserve, Assam, Dimali Elephant Reserve, Arunachal Pradesh, Dihing Patkai Elephant Reserve, that is Assam, Garo Hills Elephant Reserve, Meghalaya, Eastern Duas Elephant Reserve, West Bengal, Mayurbhanj Elephant Reserve, Odisha, Shivalik Elephant Reserve, Uttarakhand, Mysore Elephant Reserve, Karnataka, then Nilgiri Elephant Reserve, Tamil Nadu, and Wayanad Elephant Reserve, Kerala. Now human and elephant conflict. So human casualties that has happened due to the elephant attack in the last 3 years. So 2020-21 it was 461, 21-22 535, 22-23 it is 605. So the animal human conflict has been on the rise with each passing year. Then it is a major conservation concern in all elephant range countries included India. And a 2018 study by the Dehradun Wildlife Institute of India and the Periyar Tiger Conservation Foundation in Kerala, it talks about the two main drivers of human-animal conflict in India. So let us talk about the first driver, that is the quality of forest habitat. So the quality of forest habitat has reduced or has declined as the space for the elephants movement needs to be increased, and there are some other points also like cultivation of alien plants like for example acacia, mangium and eucalyptus. Then there are other points also like for example a number of other human activities including waste disposal near forested areas which creates unhealthy conditions and unhygienic conditions for living. Then fragmentation of animal habitats due to construction, increased human presence in and around animal habitat, and also increasing human-animal conflict in Kerala. So the incidences of human-animal conflict in Kerala we hear on the regular basis. Now let us see what has Kerala done to address the issue of the human-animal conflict. So the state has several schemes to prevent animals from entering the human settlements, and these include schemes for the construction of elephant-proof trenches, elephant-proof stone walls and solar-powered electric fencing. So the installation works for the country's first artificial intelligence based smart fence project, which is called the ELI-Fence. So the artificial intelligence technology is also being used to prevent the elephant human conflict. Then the Kerala Forest Department aims at integrating cutting edge technologies with traditional knowledge to effectively ignore or to effectively run away from the elephant human conflict, as traditional knowledge combined with the modern knowledge will create or will bring up with good ideas. Then the beehive fencing, which has proved effective in Africa and various Southeast Asian countries in repelling elephants, will be set up along 6.6 km of forest boundaries, and in this bees are used to keep elephants away from the regions in which the animal human conflict can take place. Then research will evaluate traditional knowledge from tribal communities such as biofences. Now biofences will also be created using crops like chili to prevent elephants from entering settlements. So biofence is also a point. Then habitat management efforts will ensure adequate fodder in marshy grasslands. So if enough food and fodder will not be present in the habitats, then elephants will move to other places to find food. Then other states initiative that has been taken, like for example Odisha, these two can work as a case study for you people. Like Odisha, as part of a community participation in conflict management, village level volunteers called Gaj Sathi have been engaged in elephant conflict prone areas, and this has helped in reducing the instances of the animal human conflict. Then comes Assam, and an initiative called Hathi Mitra or the Friend of Elephant has been launched, and in this what happens is that volunteers monitoring the movement of elephant to alert the railway has proved to be effective in areas in Assam. So these two areas or these two states, that is Assam and Odisha, can work as a case study for you to write about the successful implementation of few of the initiatives that has been taken to reduce the human animal conflict. Now let us talk about the UPSC previous year question that has been asked from the topic elephants. With reference to Indian elephants, consider the following statement. This was asked in UPSC 2020. So 4 statement was given and the correct answer was asked. So the leader of an elephant group is a female. The maximum gestation period can be 22 months. An elephant can normally go on calving till the age of 40 years only. Among the states in India, the highest elephant population is present in Kerala. So many points in this we have discussed. So I think this becomes easy for you to solve this question, and this also tells you that how the questions are being asked in the UPSC. Focus on the theme, what are the things they are asking. Then in the end, a practice question, and like always, you people will give me the answer in the comment section. Dihing Patkai Elephant Reserve is located in which of the following states? Dihing Patkai Elephant Reserve, Arunachal Pradesh, Odisha, Assam or Meghalaya. So give me the answer in the comment section, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading, keep writing and keep subscribing to the channel. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.